Okay. So again, thank you so much for participating today. My name is John Jones. I'm the Director of Franchise Development for ActionCOACH. And first of all, I want to thank you for sharing with me your most precious resource, your time. I want you to know I don't take that lightly. You know, in his old journals, Ben Franklin said, do not squander time, because that's the stuff that dreams are made of. And I know if you're on this call right now, you have some big dreams and some big goals. And I want you to know that your dreams and goals are in good hands today. We're going to have a great session. I have 3 objectives today for us in a very short amount of time. Number one, I want to help you better understand really what it takes to be a coach. I know many of you out there are considering this as an opportunity. Secondly, I want to encourage you to find a coach and a mentor of your own. You know, the fact is that you just cannot reach your potential without being coached. And the third thing I want to accomplish today is I want to inspire you today. I do. I want to get you motivated. You know, some people say, gosh, you know, motivation doesn't last. And well, they're right, but bathing doesn't last either, but it's highly recommended, right? Look, let's take the time now to get refocused. Let's get re-energized. It's a competitive, chaotic world out there. We're going to have a really positive, dynamic session today. And my goal is that when you walk away from this webinar, that you're not only just focused on what you need to do, but also who you need to become in order to realize your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. You know, here at Action Coach, we believe that real and lasting change happens from the inside out. You know, if you want to change your outside reality, then you need to start within. You know, those are some ambitious goals in a short amount of time for us, but I'm up for the challenge, and I know you are too. In order to maximize our time today, I do want to ask you to do a few things here as we get started that'll help us out. First, right now, I want to ask you to raise your expectations. See, human beings rarely exceed their expectations. You know, don't let the price of admission for today's webinar stop you from taking this really seriously. Have high expectations, and I promise I'll deliver for you, okay? Number 2, you know, eliminate as many distractions as you can. You know, one of the things that's great about webinars is it's convenient. You can access them from anywhere. And one of the bad things about webinars is they're convenient. You can access them from everywhere. So if you can avoid some rummaging and distractions and texting and whatnot, stay focused with me here today. Concentrate on the content, and I promise you'll get much more out of it. You know, think about this. If you invested $500 to be on today's webinar, how would that change things? How would you be listening right now? What would you be doing to concentrate to make sure you've got your return on your investment? Have that kind of approach, and we'll have a great session today. Here's what we know about any learning experience. You're going to get out of it exactly what we put into it. So before we get started, let's take a quick vote here. All those in favor of having high expectations and walking away from today's webinar this Friday, going into the weekend, really focused, ready to unleash your potential in business and in life. If you're willing to do that, raise your right hand and say, I'm in. All right, awesome. It looks unanimous. Motion carries. For those just coming in a little bit late, again, my name is John Jones, Director of Franchise Development for ActionCOACH. ActionCOACH is the largest business coaching franchise in the world. We are now celebrating our 25th year. We're excited about that. We're celebrating in Australia next week, in fact. We are in 70 countries now, about 1,000 coaches around the globe. What we're seeing is that the business of business coaching, the industry is booming. According to the National Post, business coaching is the second fastest growing industry in the world, rivaled only by the IT industry. Harvard Review Journal says that this is now $1 billion industry and growing fast. So why is coaching this dynamic, booming industry? Well, there's a few things that are happening. Number one, there's a tremendous demand for coaching. We're in a mega competitive, chaotic world. People are looking for clarity. People are looking for answers. People are looking to overcome the challenges that are coming at them at light speed. And we have this incredible entrepreneurial culture. It's in the United States, and it's happening all over the world. More and more people want to be entrepreneurs. It's really true. There's 2 kinds of people today. There's people who are business owners and basically people who want to be business owners. You know, most people ultimately become a business owner because they have a passion, they have a specialized skill or a particular expertise that they've developed. And then they decide to go ahead and turn it into a business and go into business for themselves. But then once they make that decision, now they find themselves needing a whole new set of skills becoming a business owner, right? Think of the plumber, the doctor, the lawyer, the artist, the chef, the architect. The list goes on and on. They're not trained on how to be business owners. In fact, most of us are not. So business owners today have that gap of what it takes to not just be in their field, but to succeed as a business owners. And they're looking for help. They're looking for a coach, for a mentor, someone they could trust who could help them navigate the trials and tribulations that are associated with owning a business. And there's lots of ways that a coach can help a business. There's so many. I'll just name a few. Helping differentiate from the competition, developing marketing campaigns and strategic planning, developing better service and standards within the company, managing change and executing a sales process, really getting focused on leadership skills and selling skills and developing people within the company, recruiting and building a team, putting systems and processes in place so these small business owners are not, pulling their hair out every day, just winging it and responding to the events of the day, but helping them become more proactive, getting control, having some accountability and following through and getting things done within the company, developing a growth plan and expansion plans, staying motivated and focused and having a great mindset, right, to overcome the challenges that are faced with business ownership, following through, time management, getting things done. All of these areas a coach can step in and make a difference. And if a business can improve in these areas, the rewards are massive. Massive. And by the way, in the United States, we have about 30 million small business owners employing over 60 million people. And the vast majority of the small business owners today have less than 5 employees. So as you can see, there's this incredible demand. And of course, with the demand, it's created this incredible opportunity, the opportunity to become a professional business coach and to meet this dynamic need that's out there. And so what does that look like? Well, the benefits of becoming a business coach are pretty darn enticing. As I speak to people every single day and find out what their needs are, what they're looking to do, the changes that they want in their life, man, we check a lot of these boxes. There's a high 6-figure, 7-figure income potential here. Doing what you love to do in a home-based environment with incredible flexibility and freedom to work with your own clients, to call the shots, a low overhead business, a very streamlined business, not a lot of moving parts or facilities or operations or inventory to manage, right? It's just you building a relationship with your clients, a business where you can call the shots and you're in control of your destiny. And most of all, you get to be the hero. You get to make an incredible difference in the lives of your clients. So this amazing demand, this fantastic opportunity to meet that demand then begs this question. Do I have what it takes? Can I be a business coach? Am I suited for this? Because that sounds pretty awesome if I could do it. That's what we're going to get into today. And I could tell you that, your ability to be a coach has very little to do with your resume. Most of us are experienced with the corporate America human resources process where they match experiences and tasks and things in the past. And that's what determines whether or not you can handle their job description. Well, this is just a different game, folks. Nothing to do with your resume, your industry background, or even your personality style. Here at Action Coach, we have tremendous coaches from all walks of life with engineer backgrounds, technical backgrounds, marketing and sales backgrounds, even, doctors, physicians, nurses, right? Accountants even, military personnel. People with all types of backgrounds can be a great coach. What's really important is the qualities, the values, and the skills. And that's what we're going to get into today. I've identified 6 traits that I want to share with you today that I think is going to get your brain thinking and inspired today to become a coach and a mentor yourself. 6 traits of a great business coach. Here we go. Number 1. Let me go through here on my slides. That's me, John Jones. Number 1. You got to have this passion to impact lives, folks. It's just the core. Every day, I speak to very smart, accomplished, and ambitious people who are considering going into business for themselves. And oftentimes they're looking at different franchise options and career options, etc. And I ask them, what are you looking for in your next chapter? And most of the time, people respond with something like this. They say, well, John, I'm just trying to see what's out there, right? And I can tell you, I get it, but that's just not the attitude of a really successful coach, right? And remember, these traits are not about, the requirements to be a coach. These traits are really what it takes to be a great coach. If your core objective is just to replace an income that you've lost, this might not be the right opportunity for you, all right? Our great coaches want to impact lives in a profound way. This is a passion-driven business. Great coaches have worked really hard over the years to develop their skills as a leader. They have invested in themselves. They have experience, knowledge, skills that they work really hard to acquire, and they want to use it. They don't want to shelf it, and they don't want to, sell widgets or clean carpets. Now, look, there's nothing wrong with selling widgets. We respect and admire any business owner, but it's not what drives our coaches. They want a relationship with clients that is dynamic, where they could take their talents and their skills and their experience and their wisdom that they've developed over the years and take it to the marketplace to go make a huge impact. And that's what this is about. So here's a question for you. Do you want to utilize your talent and your mind to make a profound difference in people's lives? You'll discover that coaching is not a vocation. It's more of a calling. I learned this quote here from Zig Ziglar on the screen when I was 18 years old, when I listened to my first motivational audio cassette. I've been a fanatic student of personal development ever since. And here's the idea. You can have everything you want in life if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. That's the essence of coaching right there. Brings into the next point, this idea of learning and teaching. As you see there on the screen, who dares to teach must never cease to learn. Coaches find themselves learning, applying what they learn, and teaching. That's what they do. That's kind of what captivates their mind share, is this idea of learning things and sharing them and teaching it to others. Coaches are lifelong learners. They are driven to learn, apply what they learn, and teach others all the time. Let me ask you, does that describe you? Perhaps the most underrated skill is curiosity. Are you intensely curious? Not interested. Are you tenaciously curious? If you think about it, knowledge starts with curiosity, doesn't it? Mastery starts with curiosity. Innovation starts with curiosity. Relationships start with curiosity. If you're not very curious, you don't even get started. Do you find yourself studying? If you've been in corporate America for 20 years and you can't name a few books that you've read on business, on leadership, on success, you're probably just not that curious, right? I don't know about you, but I want my attorney to have read some law books. I want my doctor to have read some medical books. I want my pilot to have read some books on aeronautical engineering and physics. I want my football coach to have read some playbooks, and I want my business coach to have read some books on business, right? You got to be a student. If you want to be good at anything, you got to be a student. And obviously being a student demonstrates you're curious. And that's really the key component, is curiosity. And here's something I really want you to understand. You do not have to have all the answers. You don't need to be the ultimate industry expert to be a coach, but you do have to be tenaciously curious. And I would say the curious really needs to be about the gap between success and those who struggle. Let's face it, we live in a culture where we've got people with very similar circumstances. And one person does amazing things and achieves amazing results and makes amazing contributions. And then we have another person in the same situation and they end up struggling. Why? What is the difference? I think the curiosity starts there. If you're not fascinated about the answer to that question, coaching might not be the right fit for you. Some people have this idea also, I want to share this, that before you can teach or coach, that you really have to be an expert first. And that is not true. The fact is this, that you don't become a master and then teach. The truth is you become a master by teaching. And that's why coaches are special, because they have the courage to go for it, just to get out there, make themselves vulnerable, to start leading. Becoming a coach will challenge you to become more, to stretch yourself. The thing about coaching is this: you cannot become a better coach without becoming a better person. You can't do it. The next trait I want to share with you is a pretty dynamic, balance between toughness and compassion. And the key word in this is and. Toughness and compassionate. You know, think about parenting for a moment. If you're a compassionate parent, but you're not tough, would you agree you're probably not going to be the best parent you could be? On the other hand, if you're tough, but you're not compassionate, same thing there. You're definitely not going to be the best parent that you can be. And the same is true with a coach and a mentor relationship. You know, compassionate without the toughness, toughness without the compassionate, it won't be the best that you could be. You won't make the biggest impact. Great coaches have courage to confront and challenge others and a heart for people. That's a photograph there of me and my coach, Tom Cable, chewing me out after I made a mistake on the play back when I played college football. Tom was awesome combination of toughness and compassion. And his success is not an accident. Today, he is the offensive line coach for the Oakland Raiders, soon to be the Las Vegas Raiders. I cannot wait for that to happen. So toughness and compassion. I think you guys would all agree that sometimes we all need some tough love, right? Here's a question. Do you have the confidence to tell people what they need to hear? Yeah. And maybe the instincts to know when? Well, here's the thing. You know, one of the roles of a coach is accountability, holding people accountable. Now, dude, that makes people cringe, doesn't it? That's like throwing cold water in someone's face when you talk about holding people accountable. But here's what's important about holding people accountable is that you hold people accountable to themselves. That's the key. It's not about you holding them accountable to you. It's about holding people accountable to their dreams, to their goals, to their values. I love the name of LeBron James's new schools that he's developed and invested in. They're called I Promise schools. I love that. As a coach, your job is to help people keep the most important promises of all, the promises that they make to themselves. If you are all about your clients, if you're curious, if you're passionate, if you're sincere, then holding your clients accountable will be extremely powerful. And here's a question. Can you envision yourself in that role? Right? You know, when you make a living holding other people accountable, guess what that forces you to do? It forces you to hold your own self accountable, doesn't it? It pushes you to be better. I'll share a great story about this. A rabbi is in a village and he's giving a lecture about better living to this small village. And a woman comes up to the rabbi and she says, I need your help, Rabbi. I got a problem. And he says, what is it? She says, well, I got this son. He's 11 years old and he has an addiction to chocolate. He won't stop eating chocolate. Every day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. He sneaks out of the house and gets chocolate. I can't stop him. But you know what, teacher? He will listen to you. Can you talk to him? Can you help? And the teacher thinks for a moment. He's got this really puzzled grin on his face. He strokes his beard and he says, well, I'll tell you what. Come back and see me in 30 days. I'll be here doing another lecture in 30 days. Come back and see me. She's kind of puzzled. She walks away. She's scratching her head. Well, okay. He's the expert. So, of course, 30 days go by. The rabbi is back in town. The woman fights through the crowd. She goes up to the rabbi. She says, Rabbi, do you remember me? And the rabbi says, of course. He said, bring me that boy. And so she shoves the boy in front of the rabbi. And the rabbi looks at the young man and he puts his hands on his shoulders. He looks right into his eyes and he says, son, stop eating chocolate. And then he stops. And the woman's like kind of confused. She's like, what? What do you mean? That's it? That's all you're going to say? You just told him to stop eating chocolate. I had to wait 30 days for you just to tell him to stop eating chocolate. Why did I have to wait 30 days? And the rabbi said, well, because 30 days ago, I was eating chocolate. And so here at Action Coach, we're always talking about congruency. Are you congruent? Are you walking the talk? It's not about being perfect, like the rabbi wasn't perfect. It's about the journey. It's about putting yourself in a position, putting yourself on the line to say, you know what? I'm going to be the person that's worthy to be a coach. And it's an ongoing journey. Yes, this business is about solving business problems, and it's an amazing business opportunity to achieve a viable income. But you know what? It's a journey to be the best that you can be. The next thing I want to share with you that's very, very important is you got to have a belief in the value of coaching, right? I mean, it sounds kind of simple, but you got to see coaching as the real tremendous value that it is if you're going to have a career selling the idea of coaching and providing coaching services. Coaching is an intangible concept, but the results that are achieved through coaching are real and measurable, and the benefits are huge, right? In fact, I would dare say that today there is nothing that can take assets and expand the value of assets faster and more effectively than coaching. Coaching takes what is in place right now and unleashes its potential for better results and impact. Great coaches understand that small improvements and adjustments make huge changes. Right? If a golf coach works on a player's grip and alters the angle at which the club hits the ball just a fraction of a millimeter, he can reduce a score by 3 to 4 strokes. And the difference between 3 or 4 strokes at the elite level is millions of dollars. I call this the winning edge theory. I've been sharing this with my clients for 20 years. It's a profound but simple concept, and it's this. In our competitive society, there's a disproportionate benefit for being just a little bit better. There's a disproportionate benefit for being a little bit better. Let's take a look at Major League Baseball. In Major League Baseball, if a batter steps up to the plate and he gets 2 hits out of every 10, they call that a 200 batting average. Well, in the major leagues, if you are batting 200, you're going to have a short career. You better have a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to go with that batting average. But another player, a little bit more focused, a little bit more disciplined, right? A little more disciplined at the plate, picks his pitches closely, executes his swing, works with the coach in the offseason, whatever it is, but he finds a way to get on base one more time out of every 10 at-bats. He's a 300 batter. This particular athlete is making $5, $10, $20 million a year. And if this person has a good attitude and doesn't say anything stupid out of the field, it's going to make another $30 million in commercials and endorsements. There's a massive disproportionate benefit for being a little bit better, especially when you're performing at the elite level. And the same is absolutely true in business today. If you can help a small business owner make small incremental improvements, you can transform that business and the lives of your client. I'll give you a couple examples. If you could just help a client generate a few more leads through better marketing campaigns, it's big. If you could increase the company's conversion ratio from leads to sale, if you could help them differentiate and provide better value-added services so that they can charge more, if you could help them train their employees a little bit better, that's going to impact the whole company, right? If you got a staff of 5 people and you improve the leadership and the selling and the customer service skills of the 5 people that are in a company, you just improve that business exponentially. Developing systems and control mechanisms and measuring and tracking the results within the company. Hey, what we measure improves just by going in there and helping companies start to focus and measure things that are important in their business can really take a business to the next level alone. Of course, helping them reduce costs and being more efficient. Creating a culture of enthusiasm and professionalism, developing a better mindset to the leaders in the company. All of these things, just incredible opportunities to make massive changes and results. And here's the thing, if you were to improve just a little bit in several of these areas, imagine what that would do for your client. Imagine the relationship you would have with your client. Human talent is our greatest asset, and coaching is the catalyst that unleashes this talent. So here's a question for you. Do you believe in the value of coaching? Do you believe in the value of coaching? The value of mentoring? You'll find that most super successful people talk about a mentor, don't they? I'll share with you a personal mentoring story of my own. It's pretty awesome. My wife is a school teacher and a program director here locally at a school called Valley High School in Las Vegas, Nevada. And she runs a program where she helps teenagers prepare for careers in the hotel, travel, and tourism industry. Obviously, being in Las Vegas, that's a big opportunity. And so a long time ago, when she first started this program, about 16, 17 years ago, she met a student named Martha. And Martha came to her, 16 years old, an immigrant, speaking very broken English and pregnant. Not the ideal circumstance for launching a career, right? Well, she was hungry for mentoring. And she had an awesome attitude and formed this relationship with my wife and went through the program. And amazingly, 16 years later, 17 years later, this year, Martha is now the youngest executive ever in Caesars Entertainment corporate history. It's pretty amazing. Now all this credit belongs to Martha, right? She was curious, she was ready, she was willing to change her life. There's that saying, when a student is ready, a teacher appears. She is now the general manager for the Nobu Resort and Casino here in Las Vegas. So the credit really belongs to Martha. But if you were to ask Martha to describe the importance of her mentor, you'll get an answer that's pretty darn inspiring. I'll tell you what. If someone were to talk to you about the way Martha talks about her mentor, whoo, it would fill your soul. Coaches impact lives. And it doesn't stop there. It's a pebble in the pond. It ripples and it continues. 2 months ago, Martha goes back to my wife's classroom in the program. She walks up to 2 girls from abusive homes and she says, "I'm going to be your mentor." And she hands them both 2 full scholarships to University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Pretty amazing, you guys. That's the power of mentorship. Recently, I spoke to a client of an ActionCOACH coach named Joel Gum. Joel Gum told me, he said, "John, I've had my ActionCOACH for 14 years. And I've bought and sold and grew 4 companies during that time frame. And I tell you what, wherever I go, I take my coach with me." Imagine if you could have a career where you could build those kinds of relationships and have that kind of impact. That's what's possible. The next thing I want to share with you is the ability to engage and educate people in your network. People often ask me, "John, how do I get clients?" Well, here's the answer. You have to engage, educate, and invite. It's pretty simple. You need to become an advocate and a resource for providing business education and opportunities. Invite others to learn more about the advantages of coaching. You just have to invite. You don't have to convince people that they need a coach, but you need to be a resource. You need to put yourself out there, right? Number 1, use your resourcefulness to build a network. According to Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki, most people look for work while wealthy people build networks. Provide your network with valuable content and business education, and then simply invite them to learn more. The benefits of educational marketing is really powerful because it builds tremendous credibility and trust for you as the resource. It also helps you leverage modern day technology, which allows you to engage many people for a very little cost, if any cost at all. And then, of course, it helps you identify those who are truly, sincerely interested. You don't have to spend time with people who aren't engaged. You could use the process to find those who want to work with you and build awesome relationships with the people who are looking for help. You are experiencing this process right now on this webinar. How did you get here? Well, I just had to invite you. That's all, right? You just have to initiate the process. And then last thing is that to be a great coach, you just have to believe you're worth it. Are you worth the investment and what it takes to be a coach? Do you have the courage to be a coach? Do you have the self-esteem? Can you stand in front of an adult and say, "I can help you"? In this business, you can't hide behind a product and say, "This product is amazing." You don't get to do that. You're the product. The relationship. Where can you take this relationship and how can your relationship add value to this person over a long period of time? This is what we do here at ActionCOACH. We equip you to put yourself in those moments and to execute and to bring value long-term to your business owner clients. It's a phenomenal process. It's a great thing to learn and discover for yourself. And as you do, you're going to become more as a person. You have to step up to the plate, though, and you have to serve your clients. And here's an important distinction. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be the industry expert, like I said before, but you must believe that you can help your client get to where they want to go. The term coach kind of comes from the word stagecoach. And as we know, a stagecoach in the old days was a carriage, a horse-drawn carriage that would pick people up and take them where they want to go. That's what a coach does. We take people where they want to go. Now, what kind of person does it take to be that? Are you worth it? Are you worth the investment, the training, the studying, the discipline? Are you worth doing what it takes to become a great coach? When you invest in any franchise, you're investing in a brand, a proven model, systems, training, support, technology. All of that is true. And all of that is in place here. We've been doing this for 25 years. Ultimately, you're really investing in who? In you. And of course, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then you're probably not going to be very good at persuading others to invest in themselves. Most people think, well, why should I be a coach? Well, great coaches think, why not me? In fact, beyond that, great coaches think, if not me, then who? If I don't do it, who will? I coach youth football here in Las Vegas primarily because I don't trust anybody else to do it. I have the passion, I have the knowledge. I feel it's my obligation to get out there and go impact. That's the kind of attitude you need to have to be a great coach. This stirring to get out there, go make a difference with the skills and the talents that you've been developing over the years. And you'll discover that no matter how experienced you are, how much training you complete, how much money you make, society is not going to give you a permission slip that says you can now start acting like a coach. You just have to make a decision to become one. In our training room, as people exit down the stairs, there's a stencil that says in bold letters, it says the sentence, "Be the coach." It's a reminder to all of us to be that person, not just to think about what needs to be done, but who do we need to be in order to be the worthy mentor? There is no official giant to-do list for coaches. There's no to-do list for how to be a great husband or a great wife or a great father or a great mother. There's no to-do list on how to be a great leader, and there's no to-do list on how to be a mentor. You just have to make the decision to become one because it's worth it. I challenge you to be a coach, not because of the things you could achieve, but because of the person that you could become. And this begs the question of, do you have what it takes? Well, you know what? That's for you to decide. Here at Action Coach, we have a multi-step process designed to help you evaluate our franchise opportunity so you can make a good decision for yourself. And my mission is to help you do that. If you're interested in taking a serious look at what it would take for you to become a business coach with Action Coach, let me know and I'll reach out to you. We'll connect and I'll take you through some steps that you'll find very profound and give you a great opportunity to figure this out. If you're a franchise consultant, I look forward to working with you and supporting your clients any way that I can. You know, I believe that these moments like this, connecting to people and through this capacity, is just not an accident. I believe that there's a reason why you and I connected. I don't know what that reason is, but there's only one way to find out. I look forward to speaking with each of you personally and figuring out how I could be a resource and a friend to help you achieve your dreams in your business and your career and your life. I'm going to hang out here for a few moments and take any questions you might want to type into your chat box there for a few moments. Those of you who are going to be exiting, thank you for participating today. Have a fantastic weekend and God bless. I will hang out here for a few moments and try to respond to a few questions if they come up. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you all for the kind words. Yeah, so thank you all for your comments and your kind words about the presentation today. Have a great weekend. Looks like there's no questions at this moment. And so, like I said, I look forward to speaking to you personally if you'd like to connect with me. Take care. Have a great weekend.